And welcome back. Today I'm flying out Focke Wulf on 90 D-9 and I got a few things for you today. I got a stall fight here. I got a little bit of a team wipe and I got an 8-kill game in the end. I will also have timestamps working again, I know, finally. And I will describe the differences between the D9, D12 and the D13 later on as well. There will be timestamps so you can easily find it. This plane is severely limited. And if you don't have an altitude advantage, you better have a team around because this thing is not a solo plane. One-on-one, most people will beat you in most categories unless you get, of course, fully down tier. The plane itself is more of a support fighter. You're limited on your own, you don't have the turn rate, you don't have the climb rate, and you don't have the speed versus a lot of planes. It's still a pretty fast plane. Don't get me wrong, you will outrun a good chunk of the enemy team, but you really are just a support to the 109s. If the 109s push people down, if they climb above them, push people down, push people slow, and you can start boom and zooming them, this plane becomes pretty good. You're fast, you have good retention. You have this roll rate that doesn't really compress. This one compresses a little bit more than the D13, but more about that later. And the elevator authority, even at high speed, is pretty good. Do keep in mind, the slower you go, the worse the thing becomes. And you just have to use your ability to zoom in, kill someone very quickly with your guns and your authority, and just zoom out with the energy retention. And right here, I was starting above this FU. It's the FU 4, it's just the 5.0 version. It's a little bit better than the 4B at altitude. And I have him stalled out. He's kind of hanging from the air right here. And I just have to finish this. I'm going in right now, dropping a flap, cutting the throttle, try to pull in, and even then it's kind of hard to get the shot in. Only managed to shoot something off that's probably not very important, and now I'm kind of locked in this dogfight. He turns much better than me and I'm on the 6 right now, and I can be a little bit slow to stay on the 6. If I try to run away, he will spray me down with 50 cals, so I'm kind of locked in here and I have to finish this off. And this is a situation you don't really want to be in, and that's also why I'm starting off with this. I was in a good position at the start. I don't manage to kill him in the first pass, and if you manage to not kill him in the first pass, chances are you're kind of forced to dogfight. Of course, if you have a lot more energy than someone, you shouldn't mess up the pass to begin with. There goes a flap. I'm really trying to ride these flaps to get the shot in. He's going very slow right now and he's trying to go back up, and I take his wingtip off. Ideal scenario, I know. I struggled getting footage for this plane, and that's mostly just the nature on how it flies. It's a very literally a straightforward plane. It's good at coming in, killing a lot of people because of the roll rate. It has good guns. Trying to get out of head-ons is kind of annoying though, because you don't turn well enough. Sure, you roll very well, but if someone wants to commit, if someone wants to kill you, they can. I don't like taking head-ons with people. At least I don't like committing with them, because 9 out of 10 times it will either result in a trade or you take damage. This time I took damage anyway, but you also have to take in mind I'm going against Focke, so it's not as much of a problem. Versus that Yak 3, I could not have dodged him, and so instead I opt to start spraying at him to kind of tell him, don't come head on with me because I will blast you out of the air if you take it. I did not have the speed to dodge there. I don't have the altitude to dodge, because quite frankly at higher altitudes you turn even worse. Sure, you roll better, the higher you go the better your roll rate is, but also the higher you go the worse your turn rate is. So I could not have dodged that head on. And for you today I have, well, this game, which is going to be a little bit of a cleanup. And then the game after is going to be 8 kills. It's not actually the most interesting gameplay, but it's the most interesting that I have gotten in this thing. It's very annoying to get good footage in this thing, just because you're so reliant on your team. It's a team plane. That's just how it is. It's fast enough, it has great retention, don't get me wrong. But if the enemy does not fall for your traps, if the enemy does not follow you straight up, chances are you won't be able to kill them. If the low energy, sure you will. It's still a good plane. The problem is it's not a carry plane, so I don't have any carry footage for you today. I'm carrying in a different kind of sense where I mop up the enemy team while they're busy with something else, because that's what this thing is good at. It's coming in, it's a great third party plane, and it's a very good backup for the 109s. The 109s climb very well, the 109s can keep pressure on the entire team, and then I can come in and start just mowing people down. And that's just how you play these planes. They're not solo planes whatsoever, and you just need your team around. And I'm holding this guy down because an I-225 is a very annoying plane to face, and I actually managed to team kill my teammate in the background. Very sorry for that, I did not see you coming at all, and you kind of just zoomed in through my screen and I just killed you with like 1 or 2 shells. I'm sorry, but I did not see you whatsoever. And right now I'm kind of loitering, I'm trying to see who to go for. I wanted to help him out, but he's already killing that dude. He's already damaged, so I hope I can get that just in time to get in, get the Spitfire off his 6. Managed to do so. I'm not sure if he's going to survive at this point, but at least he's out of the woods for now. 82 coming in. pretty dangerous plane altogether. He turns very well, he's not very fast, but he has those A&M2s. Luckily I take him down in the head-on. Seafire turning right in front of me, not a very hard kill. Kill him as well. And that's gonna be game. And the enemy team is basically dead at this point, and it's me just flying around. So we're gonna go to the next game, the 8 kill game. And there's 2 Sterlings right in my face, which I can simply just kill very easily like this. And ironically enough, the game after, and I mean literally after this game, I queued again. This happened. And well, as you can tell, they're the same people. It's the same 2 guys flying right next to each other. So I feel kind of bad about this, but I also found it pretty funny, so I was gonna include it anyway. So yeah, that's 4 Sterling down in 2 game, I guess. It's a pretty good bomber, I've heard, at least in terms of gun shipping, but it's not the best plane if you're gonna fly it in a straight line like that. But here they come, the actual fighters, and I promise you there won't be any more bomber kills. And again, I'm gonna show you this plane. Any good game looks boring in this thing, so I try to make it as interesting as possible while still kind of giving you an idea of how this thing flies. And it's all about target prioritization, positioning, and very simple energy management. You have to know the enemy planes, you have to know what you can do against them. Right there I was trying to pull in versus the J2M3. I know I'm never gonna win a fight with that thing if it's one-on-one and he just climbs away from me. So I wanted to push the head-on, he didn't take it, that's completely fine. I'm not gonna follow him up, I'm just gonna continue going on straight. I know there's a guy on my left wingtip right now, he's kind of far away, but I want this P47 out of the match because he has, well, 50 cals, and I don't like facing 50 cals because for some reason 50 cals really like one-shotting this plane. Right now I'm just trying to keep my speed up. I dropped my altitude a little bit quick here, but keeping my altitude and not killing anyone won't do anyone any good. This guy's gonna try the RTB, he has a little bit of an oil leak, so I'm just gonna take him down in the process, set him on fire, and he's gonna be done. Guy is above me, J2M3, clearly proving that he's keeping his altitude, that he's not willing to come down instantly. And the Key 61 is not much of a threat. There's a lot of people in the area here, so I'd rather just drop back down right now and go help out at 190, because he has 2 guys on the 6. And again, you have to keep your team alive in this thing. And yes, I make a little bit of a hasty decision here to dive straight down. But what I also see is 2 Spitfires that are very occupied right now that I can take down, which provide a hefty challenge in the long run if they're actually paying attention to you. So I want to kill them while they're occupied and maybe save my teammate in the process. And then I can start working on the team again. If I kill these 2 guys and this guy survives, very big chance we will simply win the team fight, which is exactly what I'm going for right now. So I'm just diving in, looking who to go for, and this dive speed is absolutely insane. They're lighting him up completely, spray a little bit at him, get a hit, go for the left guy because he's closer, he pulls up, and I just managed to shoot his wingtip off as I pitch back up after him, because the compression at high speed of this thing is virtually non-existent. The ailerons do compress a little bit, and for the differences between the D-9, the D-12 and the D-13, the D-9 on its own has a low altitude engine. It has slightly better performance at lower altitude. The D-12 has an engine tuned for high altitude. Above 6 kilometers roughly, it starts becoming better, and of course it traces to 13mm for a 30mm. That's a 3 and a 0. I know my accent is kind of shitty, but 13 and a 30. Almost the same thing, doesn't matter. And then you have the D-13. The D-13 has the same engine as the D-12. It traces the 30mm for 20mm, and it also gets boosted ailerons, which help you out a tremendous amount in trying to get shots at higher speeds. But keep in mind, you do still have that high altitude engine, so you are not as good on the deck. But you can kind of make a trade-off there. The D-12, in my opinion, is not worth it. If you have the D-13, fly the D-13 over the D-12. The D-9, you at least have kind of a reason to fly over the D-13, because maybe you prefer the extra power that you have at low altitude. And that's basically every change there is between them. And right now there's a J26 on the deck, which is the 4.3 Swedish P-51. The D-20 basically. It's not a very good plane. And he's going to be running to the base. And I can go for him right now. But he already has an LA-7 on him. Or I can go for the J2M, who is actually a massive threat right here, because he's above me. He has more altitude than me. And he's being attacked by someone else already. And if we can 2v1 him, that's a very big chance we can probably kill him. I'm gonna pitch up from here. It's not the best idea to pitch up for a J2M. It's actually not at all. And if you've seen my recent video on the J2M, you know why. It's an insane plane, so I'm just gonna push the head on. I'm just gonna force him to break off. It's not about killing him here. I want him to either go for my teammate, but he can't because I'm dead on his 6, so he's gonna try to turn fight me. And because I'm a little bit slower than him now, I can cut into his loop. I get a crit. If I had not crit him there, I probably would have died. He's kind of damaged right now, and I just pull in behind him, and again, he's just too fast. He is fast to a degree where he can't use his low speed energy. And at high speed, the J2M doesn't turn very well. So that was very situational. And I will tell you right now, if the situation does not present itself, you do not, and I repeat, never dogfight J2Ms. In basically anything. But I hope you understand why I did it anyway. The situation presented itself. I was hoping that the J2M did not go straight vertical, and he didn't. And that's why he died. I got on a 6, I was a little bit slower than him. Right now I'm just checking out how experienced these two guys are. There's a J26 on the runway, as well as a Key 61, and both of those planes are not much of a threat. The Key 61 especially is kind of a joke. Sure, it has those 20 mils, 4.7 variant, but it's not a good plane. There's a lot of people that tell me that it is. I'm not buying it. It's simply too slow. It's basically a 2.7, 2.3 airplane with some MG151s on it. And I have a hefty energy advantage. And again, this is why I'm showing you this game. I have an energy advantage, and this guy, well, he doesn't have the speed, he doesn't have the climb rate, and he doesn't have the altitude to actually do anything with it. So I just go up, see what he does, and if he tries to go up after me, I can go straight up and he will stall out. And if he doesn't follow me, I have a nice position. I'm coming from right from above. Get a crit, keep spraying, set him on fire, and the J26 bails out. And I'm pretty salty about this one, because he ground pounded the entire game, and I thought, I'm gonna get a 9-kill game here. Nah, he just instantly left. He didn't even bother trying to spawn back in. He's just out of there, and I can't really blame him. It's an unwinnable fight. The game is almost over, but it's a shame regardless, because I would have liked to get a 9-kill game in this thing. Doesn't matter. 8 is just fine too. Hope it was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice Wednesday, and see you all probably tomorrow again with another video.